All right, now this one's going to make you shudder. Gas prices are climbing and climbing quickly. The national average hitting $3.70 per gallon over the weekend. And just as quickly, gas prices are sparking a volcanic battle between Republicans and Democrats. Senator John Thune is blasting President Obama's energy policies. He's blaming the president's policies for driving up energy prices. Senator Thune joins us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta.
And before we get to gas prices, I'm curious, the question I just asked Rick Klein, you've endorsed Governor Mitt Romney. How come he's not running away with this at this point? He's got a lot of people endorsed him, like yourself, like Senator McCain, and his numbers seem about where they were about a year ago.
It's a long campaign, Greta, but he's been a very steady candidate throughout this campaign. There have been the ups and downs, but I think he's going to have a good day tomorrow. And I still believe that Governor Romney is the man who is best positioned to be the Republican nominee and the best person to beat Barack Obama come November of this year. And so I think the American people in these various states are going to be voting the two tomorrow, and then Super Tuesday. That's going to become more clear with time. All
right. Well, the swing states tonight have Senator Rick Santorum doing better against President Obama than Governor Mitt Romney. Of course, after tomorrow night, those numbers may change dramatically. But I'm curious, what's your explanation for why Senator Santorum is doing better in the swing states than Governor Romney, at least tonight?
I think a lot of it, Greta, is momentum. He came out of those caucus states that were mentioned earlier, that Rick mentioned, Colorado, Minnesota, earlier on, and got some momentum. There was a little bit of a wave there that goes with that. But it is a long campaign, and I think the issue for us as Republicans is who is going to have the best chance of winning those independent voters in November of this year. And I think if you look at the various polls and you kind of go inside the numbers, it's pretty clear that the person who best appeals to those voters that are going to determine the outcome in November, the independent voters, is Mitt Romney. And so I think in the end, he will be our nominee, but it's a process, and I respect the process, and we're watching it play out, and obviously the voters in Michigan and Arizona are going to have an opportunity to be heard tomorrow.
Okay, gas prices. There are a lot of reasons why gas prices go up. Do you blame President Obama for the gas prices now?
Well, look, I think that any political leader, you have to look not at what they say, but what they do. And this president, with his words, says he's for an all-of-the-above strategy when it comes to energy, but his actions say he's for none of the above. If you look at all the areas that he said no to, whether it's Alaska, whether it's offshore, whether it's oil shale, whether it's the Keystone Pipeline, streamlined permitting, more leases, all those things this administration has said no to. And as a consequence, we've got lots of areas in this country that are off limits to energy production, and we're continue to be dependent upon these types of countries around the world that we don't have the best relationships with. So I think, yes, the president's policies clearly have put us in a position where the energy cost for consumers in this country, and you talked about the swing states that Rick was mentioning earlier, those are all states where pocketbook issues are really going to matter in the election this fall. And when gas prices have literally doubled since this president took office in January of 2009, I think that's a very big economic issue that's going to play heavily on the minds of voters when they make up their minds.
Well, in what I read in terms of what has an influence on the gas prices are a lot of things. For instance, there's the uncertainty about what's going to happen in Iran, the problems in the Sudan, Nigeria, those problems there. We've got all sorts of long-term problems that create gas prices, that spike it up. And I'm just sort of curious if you really sort of lay those to blame on the president.
Well, look, Greta, I think that there are lots of things that happen in the world. The world's kind of a turbulent place, but that's why it's so important that we not be dependent upon events that happen around the world, that we control more of our own destiny. And gas is a global commodity. Gasoline is. The price is set in the global marketplace. The more supply we have, the lower the price is. And when we lower the price, it's better for American families and consumers and small businesses. And it's better for American workers, because when we produce energy here at home, we create American jobs. And I think the American people understand and get that. What we don't need is what's being proposed. You heard Senator Schumer say earlier today that Secretary of State Hillary Clinton ought to go to the Saudis with hat in hand and ask them to up production. That's not where we want to be as a nation. As a nation, we want to be developing our own resources. We have plenty of them here. They've been put off limits by this administration. That needs to change. Republicans believe in an all-of-the-above strategy, a real all-of-the-above strategy that includes a lot more domestic production that will make us safer and more secure and create more jobs for American workers.
And I guess, and I'm going to take the last word on this, the frightening thing that people aren't talking about is that the price of gas goes up, it becomes an enormous drag on the economy, and we're so desperately trying to rescue ourselves from a bad economy, that this could be even a grimmer problem than just what we pay at the gas tank. But I am taking the last word on that. Senator, thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, Greta.